Another thing I like to say to comics is you don't have to do everything, but there's definitely something you can do. Play to your strengths. Okay, you don't have a video camera, video may not be right for you. All right, well, do a blog. Okay, you are good at writing one-liners, but you don't really want to write long blog posts. Okay, well, then do that. Play to your strengths and what you're able to do.
There's
As
also
opposed,
you stream and live stream and
yep,
vocal and all those platforms. If you're good at improv,
mm-hmm,
then just say they basically say, hey, even if it's once a week
yep,
or once a month, say I don't. Basically, you have to tell yourself, I don't care if I'm going to do this, and I don't give a shit if no one watches,
yep,
and I'm going to just tweet out and Facebook out. I'm going to be on. It'd be like Charlie Sheen. I'm going to be on UStream. Come
right,
check me out. You could ask me anything, and
mm-hmm,
I have no agenda, and it's just going to be me in front of a webcam for an hour.
yep.
If you at least do that, it's something.
Yeah,
It's
well,
something
and
that
I think also and obviously everybody has fear of failure on some level, and I think they're afraid of, oh, well, if I put this out there and what if it's bad or it doesn't work? And what I always say is the nice thing about online stuff is if it doesn't work, nobody sees it.
right.
So you don't have to worry. Look, there have been plenty of things I've tried online at different times, and some of them work and some of them don't. Well, the ones that don't work, nobody saw. And if
And,
they did see it, they saw it once and they didn't like it, so they didn't look at it again, and that's that. So there really is no reason not to try this stuff because, like you said, okay, so you say I'm going to do a Ustream thing, and you do it a couple times, and you're like, wow, this is terrible, or nobody's coming. Okay, well, abandon it and try something else.
right. It's just like the old Thomas Edison quote, as far as like no, he didn't just invent the light bulb. He
Right.
failed 99 other things, but
Mm-hmm.
he had to fail 99 other things in order to invent the light bulb.
Yeah.
So as far as like just like you say, like there's nothing that I see a lot of comedians that I talk to that's like, okay, I want to do something online. I want to do a podcast. And they get
Right.
so engrossed into like planning and like big podcast like this and the like basically that's gonna be the centerpiece of everything that I do instead of thinking of the terms of, well, what do you want to try? And then try and
Right.
instead of planning, start now, today. Literally, if you want to start a podcast, fucking plug in your microphone, record something, and put it up somewhere.
Yeah, I think that's great advice because also one of the things that I've definitely learned, and I think everybody I've worked with, and I think everybody learns this is really the best way to learn this stuff online, whether it's marketing, promotion, or the creation of content, is you have to do it because no matter what you think your blog or podcast or whatever is going to be, you are not going to know until you're doing it, and it's going to evolve. And it will continue to evolve. Connected Comedy's been up for a few months. I am much more clear now on what connected comedy is than I was a month ago, than I was 2 months ago, than I was 3 months ago. And I'm sure 2 months from now I'll be even more clear about what it is. It's just a process.
Right. And if you take a look at something like maybe like the Chappelle show, I don't know if that's an old reference,
Mm-hmm.
but I mean if you take a look at a lot of his sketches, it's like a lot of them are good, but I'm saying like when it comes to like I'm Rick James, bitch. Do you
Right.
think Dave Chappelle and the writers and the producers thought that like that was going to be the thing that like everyone's going to say? Like no, it was just another sketch that was
Right.
involved in the show, and if people didn't really like it or didn't really resonate, I wouldn't even know about it. It would be
Yeah.
just like
Yeah.
it's just another sketch on the Chappelle show. But they
Yeah. And
didn't
it's
know that,
interesting
and
because
they
you
just did
never
it, and it just happened.
you never know. It's funny. I think it's very difficult for comedians or any artist or business for that matter to really know to look at themselves and understand what their strengths and weaknesses are and understand what people are really going to latch onto. And I think most times you'll find that it's not necessarily what you thought it would be.
I think when everything boils down to it, I mean as a comedian, I know that most comics are lazy as shit. I mean, I think a lot of it boils down to like this. It's not easy. Like I don't want to make it sound like oh all you have to do is get on Twitter. All you have to do is get an email list. Like all you have to like this shit. Number one, it takes time because relationships take time. Just like I get a lot of comedians. They're like, well, I have this event. I'm producing this show in 2 weeks. How can I
Right.
use Facebook to get people like they view
Right.
me as like the marketing genius? It's like, no, you get people by building up trust
Right.
beforehand. Like when I was a promoter in New York when I was younger, I was doing DIY punk shows. It's like the first year I lost money on like every show,
Right.
but slowly getting people in, like by pretty much by the start of the third year, I used to joke with bands and other people, and I said I could put 6 fake band names on a flyer and get 300 kids to a show. Why? Because as long as I put my venue name there and it's on a Saturday, they're gonna come because
Right.
they know they're gonna have a good. So it's not like I have a show. How do I promote that one show? It's more of a what's my I don't want to use the term fucking personal brand because that makes me want to vomit, but
Right.
it's kind of like it has to be a slow build. Occasionally you could get a viral sensation and you could get a big spike at once, but this shit takes time and it takes work. It's
Yeah.
not
And I think also you have to want to do it. I mean, I'll never forget. You know, pretty soon after I had launched Connected Comedy, I had a conversation with a pretty big name comic. I mean, headlines clubs, has starred in movies and been on TV, and I don't want to name names, but you would know him. And I was talking to him about all this, and he was he was basically annoyed, I guess would be the best way to put it, at having to be on Twitter and having to do all this stuff. And I remember he said to me something along the lines of, this is crazy. Why it's like I have to work for my fans. It's like I'm working for them. And
that's exactly correct.
right, and I heard that, and I was kind of like, why is that crazy? And by the way, his version of working for them was tweeting a couple things a day. It's not like he was in the trenches 8 hours a day spending tons of time on his marketing. And in fact, as we were having this conversation, he was in the midst of shopping for a new mattress. So it was like, but I think there's a lot of people that have that mindset of like, oh, really? Like I have to work for my career? Well, yeah, kind of.
Well, if you take a look at a lot of the good, successful, especially the road comics,
Mhm.
I feature for a lot of headliners that have been doing it for a long time, and they work for their shit also, but it's a different type of work. Like comics that would 10 in the morning, they get up, they write some jokes,
Yep.
and then pretty much they spend like 4 or 5 hours just fucking calling people, bookers and agents and I mean they're doing that type of schmoozing that way. And
Well,
it's
it's
like,
also
well,
it's funny that
but the whole point is, would you rather you want to do that, or would you rather
right.
talk to people that actually fucking like you, and
Well, I was
all
gonna
you do
say
is just hang out?
what's funny about that is, and I'm far from an expert on road comics, but if you think about it, if a guy's spending 5 hours a day trying to get the attention of a booker, as opposed to spending 5 hours a day trying to build his own fan base and connect with them, in which case he won't need the booker. What's a better use of time? I'm sure the average comic, if you look at the span of their career in the past couple of years, the amount of time they have spent trying to chase or appeal to bookers and people, like we said in the beginning, people that will permit them to have a career, that's probably not the best use of their time.
Yeah, but I think a lot of road comics see it as if I could get this guy on the phone and get a date out of him, that's a
Yep.
grand in my pocket, and not and so I'm going to spend all my energy on that,
Yep.
not realizing that at the end of the day, like you could get that and then some. Like you don't have to replace one with the other. It's just a matter of just paying enough attention. Like just the fact, like I
Yeah.
said, my friend that didn't realize that he was even being at replied. It's like just the fact of yeah, you don't have to be on Twitter all day making jokes. You don't have to be on Facebook sharing stuff. And that's also another thing that I know we're going long here, but like and you had a great post about this on connectedcomedy.com about that you don't have to create any of the material yourself. I mean, some of it just because of
Right.
your own personal brand, just being the curator of the best stuff. Of hey, look at this funny picture. Look at
Mhm.
especially if it's your style. If you're like an edgy person, you do edgy pics.
Right.
If you're this type of person, you do like Brian Regan. It would all be clean. But
Mhm.
like Jim Gaffigan could have bacon pictures, and that's all it is, bacon pictures. He
Right.
does 10 minutes on bacon.